Okay, so what we're about to dive into isn't just a story. Honestly, it feels more like a leaked transmission from a whole other dimension, a really cryptic piece of lore titled Saikou Venga, the multiversal arc. Let's see if we can piece this puzzle together. And right away, the whole thing just hits you with this one central paradox. How can a hero, a savior, also be the very thing that's causing all the destruction? It's a question that grabs you right from the start, and it's the thread we're going to follow through this entire thing. So, where do you even begin a story like this? Well, not in any way you'd expect. Saikou Venga's origin is all tangled up with the fundamental physics of his reality. So to get the hero, first you gotta understand the forces that literally created him. And here they are. This is the core conflict of the entire universe. On one side, you've got slip flow. Think of it as the ordered, structured river of existence. It's everything that should be. And on the other side, you've got counterflow. It's chaotic, corrupting opposite. The force that just wants to tear it all down. And this tells you just how impossible he is. See, he wasn't born in reality. He was born in the same between these two fundamental forces. Just try to imagine being created in that violent, chaotic clash where existence and nothingness just smash into each other. That's the moment Saikou Venga sparks into being. Now you can imagine being born from a cosmic conflict like that. Yeah, it grants you some incredible abilities. Of course it does. But this isn't one of those easy hero stories. His very existence comes with a terrible, inescapable price, one that's literally carved into him. And I mean that literally. This isn't some metaphor. His power is physically branded onto his body. The source describes these ancient symbols, this SH1 resonance, actually burning into his skin. It's a constant, painful reminder of what he is. It's his gift and his curse, all rolled into one. And you want to talk about high stakes? His own internal heads-up display is feeding him the raw data, and it is bad. The multiverse's coherence is failing, fast. The probability of total collapse is just screaming upwards. That one number on his screen, 99%, tells you everything you need to know. Time is all but gone. So how does he fight back? Not with just brute strength. He uses this highly structured, almost scientific 5-stage ritual. First, he has to achieve resonance with reality itself. Then, he maps out its geometry. After that, he applies a correction, focuses his intent, and finally, he deploys this weapon called the slip flow edge. It's this really cool mix of what feels like science and straight-up magic. With that clock ticking down and his ritual ready, the fight is on. But here's the thing. He's not just fighting monsters. The source is very, very clear on this. Saikou is fighting the very fabric of reality, which seems to be actively trying to reject him. And get a load of what he's up against. These are the things that reality is throwing at him. Counterflow mimics, which sound like they could copy reality itself. Coherence predators, which probably hunt the very stability of space and time. And null flow pockets, which sound like literal holes where reality just stops. These aren't just bad guys, they're existential nightmares. And here's the truly terrible part, the feedback loop from hell. To fight these things, he has to channel this immense power, the true flow force. But every single time he uses it, he damages himself. His own stability, his own coherence as a person just shatters a little bit more. So the more he fights to save the multiverse, the more he literally destroys himself. Okay, so you might want to brace yourself because this is where the entire story just completely flips on its head. Saikou's been fighting what he thought were outside threats, but as he pushes deeper, he's about to come face to face with a much, much darker truth. This, right here, is the moment. The narrative forces him and us to just rethink everything we've seen so far. If those mimics and predators aren't the real source of all this decay, then what is? And the answer is just horrifying. He finds himself completely surrounded by these echoes of himself, failed versions, corrupted data streams, all spewing from his own timeline. He is seeing the wreckage he has left across reality, and the realization hits him, he's not a hero. He's a walking disaster. And there it is, the absolute gut punch of a reveal. He isn't the cure for the disease, he is the disease. His very existence, that impossible birth between slipflow and counterflow, that's the paradox that's ripping the multiverse apart. The things that have been hunting him aren't villains. They're reality's immune system trying to get rid of the infection, him. So faced with that kind of soul-crushing truth, what does a hero do? Do you just surrender, erase yourself from existence for the greater good? Nope. Saikou Venga chooses a different path, a path of pure, absolute defiance. Standing there in a corridor of reality that is literally dissolving into nothing around him, he makes his choice. It is such a powerful moment. He accepts what he is, this anomaly, but he absolutely refuses to be erased. He's going to fight for his right to exist, even if it means fighting existence itself. And then the source leaves us with this really strange, almost meta disclaimer. It calls the whole story a mythic infrastructure, a cinematic indictment. It basically suggests that Saikou Venga isn't just a character, he's a concept. He's a way for us to diagnose a system that creates a problem and then tries to destroy that problem. It really makes you wonder, what anomalies are being contained or hunted in our own reality? And that's the question we're left with.